Alright, hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another stream by me, the Game Herald. Today we are playing an Ashe and Lux deck. I really wanted to make this a non-follower deck, where it is literally these only two champions, hence the name of the deck was Just Us Girls. But unfortunately, I tried this out, and it it lacks teeth, if you will. So to give it some more teeth, I had to add Rhymefang Wolf. So it's just the two girls, Ashe and Lux, plus a wolf, essentially. But the rest of the deck, the entire rest of the deck, is spells. And the reason for that should be pretty obvious, is Lux. Lux, every time you cast 6+ mana of spells, she levels up and she creates a final spark. So this allows us to pick off our opponent's board, as well as hitting damage on the Nexus. And I learned this this synergy through an expedition, actually, because it turns out that when you use all of the freeze spells that help level up Ashe, it works out really well to burn or use a bunch of mana that helps to level up Lux as well, and create more final sparks. Harsh Winds in particular is amazing because it's a burst spell, 6 mana, so this will always generate a final spark for Lux if she's on the board. So I've tried this out a couple games. It's a very, very interesting deck, I think. It's definitely not tier 1 or even tier 2, but it's certainly interesting. But yeah, so anyways, this is this Ashe and Lux deck. We will play this on ranked, and we will change the deck as we go, as we see fit. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. So we may as well jump into game 1. And again, Ionia. Okay, so we find Ashe, and we find Remembrance Succession. I think I'm fine with this. It's a bit of a strange setup. I think I'll ditch Blinding Assault for now. So play Soul Shepherd. This is probably a good opportunity to summon a Dauntless Vanguard and push some damage. Just certainly not going to block with the Soul Shepherd. And they find a Shark Chariot, which I think we'll have to let go. Oh boy. So this was a mistake, playing this Dauntless Vanguard. We should have waited to play a Remembrance, because now we need to freeze one of these, unfortunately. And we can trade this down. It's a really bad thing to do, though. Or it's not efficient for us to do that, so I'd rather not. We will play Ashe instead. We'll have Harsh Winds next round. But not this round, unfortunately. So I'll happily trade 8 damage. Can't play Remembrance until he drops under 4. Oh, okay. Darkwater Scourge, that's fine. We're almost certainly going to play Harsh Winds here. Okay, well that's really annoying, but again, nothing we can really do about it. Hecarim is leveled up, which is something to be aware of. Vilemaw. Okay. That's an odd thing to run in someone's deck, but here we are. Okay. So I think what we do is we freeze this Soul Shepherd. Ashe levels up. And at the moment we are pushing lethal. So we'll see what he does. We have only 4 mana to play with. And he plays this, I think. Well, unless he has a ping for this Dauntless Vanguard. We might just straight up win here. Okay, so he finds... Oh, this is ephemeral, okay. Unfortunately, he could very easily kill us next round. So that's something to keep in mind. We do have a Winter's Breath. And we find Crystal Arrow. So if he summons... So he's still at 5 mana. I mean, we're fine at the moment. And there's the Darkwater Scourge. Okay, so now we are essentially forced into... Well, we could either use the arrow or we could use Winter's Breath. Like, unfortunately, we're 1 off being able to do both, which is really sad. And he has now dropped below... So maybe what we do here is we go Crystal Arrow and then we can Remembrance. And then next round we can try to do Winter's Breath. So he's pushing 8 damage. Unfortunately, well, we have Prismatic Barrier. It's really not ideal. Because if we do that, then we'll only have 3 mana to play with. Won't be able to summon Remembrance, but we could summon Valor instead. I mean, obviously we need to keep Ashe alive, so the question is how valuable is our health here? And I think we're actually fine with this. Weird though it might be. Okay, so we have round 8. I'm going to attack like this first. Okay, so that's annoying. So he's going to generate a Shadow Fiend, which he can use this round. But let's see what else he does. Oh, he drops Hecarim. Okay. Oh, that's so... So he has 1 card left in hand. So the question is... If we try and play Winter's Breath or Reinforcements and he has Deny, we just lose the game here. So what could we do instead? We could play Valor, or we could play Valor, Prismatic Barrier, and Flash Freeze. Which would keep these 2 alive as well as attack something else. He has 1 card in hand, and he hasn't played it. I'm gonna take the risk. This is probably a mistake, and we'll find out very quickly if it is or not. Oh, and it goes through. Okay, so that means we should just win here. But we'll see whether or not we do. Okay, he didn't have Deny in hand. We took the risk, and it paid off. Okay, looks like we are facing deep. This should be a pretty good matchup for us. The biggest threat, obviously, is Atrocity, and with the freeze deck, we should be pretty good on that front. We can also... We're finally not playing against Ionia, so we can safely use our spells and not have to worry about it. We can probably ditch Avalanche and Caught in the Cold. I like these two spells, or these two cards together, so we'll keep them. So yeah, this should be a really good matchup for us. Because we can, anytime, like the threat of deep is obviously their board and Atrocity, and we can just use our phrases to deny him doing any damage. Maokai would be really problematic for us, but we'll see how this game goes and how it plays out. I'd really love to be able to play Lux and then Remembrance. It's probably pretty greedy, though. I think I'll just pass and see what he does. Please Lure the Depths, okay. Okay, if he's gonna do that, then I will drop a Remembrance. Oh, fantastic draw. We get our Greathorn Companion. This might be the best card to get out of Remembrance, unless you're low on health and you manage to grab a whatever you call him, Radiant Guardian. But if a unit hasn't died and you roll Radiant Guardian, you're just face palming. So very happy to see Greathorn Companion instead. Another Lure of the Depths. This guy's playing very greedy. He's pretty close to deep. So that'll be something we need to worry about pretty quickly. But in the meantime, if he doesn't play anything, we can hit a ton of damage on him. Almost hoping he plays a sea monster, then we can use Caught in the Cold to kill it. We know he has at least 2 in hand. Oh, Jaw Hunters. Okay, we're fine with that. Perfectly good use of Caught in the Cold. Now we know he has 3 sea monsters in hand. And what we could have done here to push even more damage is we could have played, in retrospect, and like for the future, what we could have done is we could have played Blinding Assault and pushed an extra 4 damage, so he could be at 6 health right now if we played this smarter. Another Jaw Hunters. I mean, he's probably going to try and kill this. So I think what we do is we just prevent him from doing that.
Stare at the abyss. It'll stare back.
Okay, so he plays on Abyssal Eye. Still not at deep. This isn't necessarily a problem. So we'll play Lux while we can. Unfortunately, we're going to have to be a little bit tricky with how we play this next round. I don't think a deep deck would run Ruinate, would they? So we have a couple options here. We can Avalanche and then play Blinding Assault. And that would level up Lux, and that will help us remove at least 2 bodies off the board. But they could play a Nautilus now. Yeah, I think we'll do this. This might be the best play. Stalking Shadows. His hand is enormous. He must have like just... It must just be full of sea monsters that he doesn't feel like playing. But we'd really like to be able to kill him this turn if we could. Oh, that's annoying. I kind of want to use a barrier on this just so we get the level up. We have another Lux in hand. So this isn't the end of the world, but oh, wait. I'm a genius. Never mind. Okay, so we'll attack with this. Okay, well that is certainly annoying. We're 1 away from deep, so if he has a toss in hand, this could get ugly very quickly. Killing the Abyssal Eye is probably the most important thing to do. Most of all, because it pushes him to 2. And then I think we just attack with this. So that if we try and attack with anything else, the Dead Bloom Wanderer will just heal it up and we won't get lethal. Or will we? If he deals... We're dealing at least 8 damage here. Or no, we're dealing only 3. So yeah. So this is what we have to do, I think. Okay, they're deep, which is obviously scary. But hopefully what we're going to do is we are going to play reinforcements and then laser this Dead Bloom Wanderer, and that should be game. Unless they do that. Luckily we have another Lux in hand, but obviously this will slow us down. So that is the second one he's played. It might be better to play this round.
Let the light guide you.
But we will at least defend ourselves this round. And he found the last one. Jesus. Okay, so that's all 3. That's an unlucky pull if I've ever seen one. I mean, unfortunately, I think we have to do this. We're in a really bad position now, unfortunately. If we played... Yeah, there's no way to save Valor, we kind of have to do this, especially because really, oh wow, we managed to find it the third. Okay, so this one he definitely can't kill, but unless he uses a vengeance or something. So he high rolled 3 Devourer of the Depths, but we also high rolled 3 Luxes, so give and take, I guess. We are in a very rough spot, though, because he could play Nautilus, and if he plays Nautilus and has an Atrocity in hand, and here's Nautilus. If he has an Atrocity in hand, we have no freezes at the moment, so there's really nothing we can do. And if he just decides to open attack next round, we'll lose the 3rd Lux, and then that will pretty much be game, unfortunately. Wow, I really thought that this would be the matchup we would win. We came down to 2 health. I mean, obviously, I guess we should just attack with this while we can, since it has barrier. So yeah, unless we top deck some freezes, I think we're just dead here, unfortunately. Wow, and yeah, he's playing these for literally nothing. Okay, so this is almost certainly game. Wow, what a frustrating turn of events. And yeah, that's going to be game. We have no way to stop this. So yeah, unfortunately we just... that was... I can't help but be, like, frustrated with that. We came so close. Okay, we are playing Karma Victor. This is certainly one of the most interesting metas we've played in. It's incredibly diverse. If that's kind of... there's pros and cons to that. It means you'll have a huge variety in different games, but it also means it's very difficult to figure out what the hell you're supposed to be playing and when, because you have no idea what's in anyone's deck. I think we're going to play this. I'm not going to sit around and try and use Remembrance on turn 3 and just have it get denied. It's pretty much expected. Though to be honest, it's really weird to see that in a... to see that as a main deck and not as just a second Victor spell. So I think we'll drop the Wolf and try and use Caught in the Cold to pick off some of his board, I guess. Okay, so we would find Lux. That's nice. It's gonna be a Nopify. Nopify. And a second Death Ray. Okay, so we will continue to do nothing. Unfortunately, like, obviously, the longer this game goes, the worse it is for us. Because Karma is a late game champion. And yet, there remains nothing we can do. It's kind of nice getting Snopify out of his hand, but obviously, this is getting really annoying. Oh, he's dropped below 3. Oh, this is so frustrating. But he's dropped below that, so I'm actually going to play Remembrance here while we have the opportunity. So we find Dragon, that's nice.
Full speed ahead.
In pursuit.
And he finds is another Death Ray. Bizarre. Seemed to be his entire hand was Death Race. Okay, I'd really like to drop Lux here. I don't know if I can afford to. What are the chances this just gets killed?
The light follows.
But we will, and we'll see what he does. I mean, his hand is like completely filled with Death Rays now. Oh, weird. Okay. I guess we'll do this for now.
To battle with heart.
And they let it go through. Okay. Kind of fine with that. I'd like to preserve these spells if I can. Seems like more Death Rays are happening. Okay. And there goes our Lux. What we could try and do... You know, we're not able to in this round, unfortunately. Well, this is really annoying, but it is... He is, like, running out of cards here. So that's something, I guess. I think we'll just pass. If he feels like attacking, we'll let him.
Let's move.
Yeah, 2 damage, so we're not too worried about that. Very tempting to use this on the dragon, but of course they could have Deny in hand. As well as a bunch of other crazy things. So I think what we'll do for now is just this. And if he does decide to Death Ray again, then I will Unyielding Spirit this. Because we kind of have no other plays at the moment. And I'm kind of tired of him taking these elusive attacks for free. Expecting another Nyandroid, and there it is. I wonder if it's worth it to try and use this Unyielding Spirit. So this is annoying because it's going to create some random card in his hand. Oh, go get it. Well, that's really annoying. Okay, so he has a go get it. Do we know what else is in his hand? What's this cost? So if he plays this again, then we can safely use Unyielding Spirit. So hopefully he plays the... Oh no, we can't still. Shoot. Oh, that's frustrating. Okay, well, I'm not under threat, so I'll just keep passing. Unfortunately, we're at round 10, which means that if Karma comes down, we are in big trouble. But we find Ashe, which is nice. We still have 9 mana. So he has one of these. Okay, we'll try it here. And there's the deny. So he's been sitting on that the entire time. So yeah, we were right to be apprehensive about using it. And we still have card advantage, but of course once Karma comes down. Maybe the idea of his deck is that... Yeah, so here's Karma.
And mind as one.
Is that he can play this, and then he has all of these... all of these death rays in hand, and they can just double them up over and over again. Maybe that's the idea. Okay, so obviously we're freezing that. I think we just do this right away.
Don't underestimate me.
Fortunately, this is going to put some other card in his hand. Okay, so his hand is now empty. But he's going to make more of these things, unfortunately. So you have no idea what that is. But obviously we need to kill off this Karma. Because yeah, now that Karma's leveled up, he just becomes way too mana efficient, and there's nothing we can really do. But we are obviously going to try and do this. And if he has 2 Death Rays in hand, then I guess we just lose. Okay, so we kill the Karma. I mean, we're killing his board, but like we're not progressing our own win condition, unfortunately. And these cards are incredibly annoying. We have tons, I mean, all we have is freezes at the moment.
Brittle but wide.
Unfortunately, we're just putting random things... We could do this. I'd really like to find another Ashe or Lux, though. Okay, we find Ashe.
I'll lead us to victory.
So what are the chances this just gets Death Raid? Probably pretty high.
One arrow.
Oh, Karina. Well, this is a card you don't see very often. Obliterate the top 5 cards in your deck to deal 1 to all enemies in the enemy nexus for each spell obliterated. Okay, so odds are Ashe is dying, which is really annoying. Oh, wow. That is a low roll if I've ever seen one. Oh boy, oh that feels real bad.
As the arrow flies.
Okay, so we have an opportunity to do a lot of different things here. We have 17 damage. So we could use this and then Winter's Breath. I think what we'll do is we'll just try and kill him here. This is a little bit risky, but we got to do something here to get our win condition done. Okay, that's game. A very bizarre game, but it is a game. Okay, so that was Ashe Lux. The point of this deck, the original point of this deck, was to try and build a deck where we only have champions and the rest is spells. That's why this deck was called Just Us Girls, because it's supposed to be just Ashe and Lux. And I play tested this deck for a few games, and I realized that there was virtually no way to disrupt the opponent from doing their strategy, at least with the setup. So I decided to add in Rhinefang Wolf, and I was hoping that that would shore up some of the deficiencies of this deck. But after a long string of games here, it definitely is not the case. Cannot recommend you play this deck in this particular format. We just ended up playing tons and tons and tons of games where we were unable to close them out, or our win conditions are very, very fragile win conditions, being Lux or Ashe or Winter's Breath. Either like weren't lining up correctly, or we were being disrupted too much, or our opponent was able to start snowballing a win of their own without us being able to disrupt them. So I would say this is a pretty low tier deck. I can't recommend you try this, but if you do want to, I will put the description in the YouTube video. But other than that, thank you very much for watching. I'll be back again either tomorrow or the next day to make a new video. I want to make a video on Howling Abyss. Apparently I'm a glutton for punishment. I would love to make a Howling Abyss meme deck, so that will be the next deck we play. But until then, thanks again for watching, and